On today's Primetime Local News, cyclists are gearing up to raise money to help feed kids at local schools.
And that's one thing that this is doing, is it's not reaching out just to one person, it's reaching out to a variety, and so that kind of motivates you to keep doing it.
And Lloydminster's 911 system is receiving an upgrade. Plus, how are producers handling the warm temperatures? We find out in this week's crop report.
Once those days get up to 30 or up, it's a really hard on those plants, especially if they don't have the moisture.
Prime Time Local News, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Lloydminster's 911 dispatch audio recorder will be receiving an upgrade. The contract for the system was awarded to Zentrex Inc., the only provider available, for just over $63,000.
Because it was brought forward by the CRTC as a requirement, we're working with the RCMP's radio system. We don't have a lot of choices. If it was simply a standalone system, there certainly would be a different perspective. But because that it is an integrated system, this is going to be an integrated system across Canada. I understand with the requirements from the CRTC that every 911 call center will have that. We don't our options are limited, and we do occasionally run into that. Simply, there is only one supplier to certain items. In this case, that's what we fell into. It's something we don't regularly practice, but we will work with it when we have to.
The new next-gen system will allow people to send audio, data, and video files, another step forward to improve safety within the community.
I think it held the ability to improve the quality of service, which in essence will let people know that the services that they're counting on will be better. And from that perspective, to be safer in the community, I think there's a multitude of pieces to that from that perspective. But knowing that the information that when you call 911 will be properly recorded, if you need to go back and hear things that because a call is dropped, it might help identify someone where they may be by the background sounds. If it's close to the railway tracks, as an example, versus farther away, the traffic flow, things like that. So I think there's a lot of pieces that can be used. It's always an improvement to the quality of protective services that people receive in the community.
Further information will be released as the process continues in bringing the next-gen 911 system to the city. Well, last year, a group of cyclists biked over 1,000 kilometers to raise funds for local school breakfast programs. This year, Bike for Breakfast is back, hosting a ride this weekend, and organizers are offering more ways for residents to take part. This Sunday, Bike for Breakfast are biking with the goal of raising $100,000 to go towards breakfast programs at schools in and around Lloydminster. They've made things more accessible this year by offering 40, 80, and 160-kilometer rides, opposed to the long trek they made in 2021 to Tufnell, Saskatchewan, and back.
So this year we wanted to involve the community a little bit more, so we have decided to host a variety of bike rides going on the same day at June 12th. So it's going to be hosted at Inland Steel.
Participant Jim Taylor says lots of hours went into organizing the event, but it's worth it to see the community come together for a good cause.
When we meet, everybody's into it. They all have a passion. We all have kids that are in the schools. We're all from this area. Maybe we're a little bit fortunate here or there, and it's nice to be able to help out and help out everybody. And that's one thing that this is doing, is it's not reaching out just to one person, it's reaching out to a variety. And so that kind of motivates you to keep doing it.
Organizers have seen a good reaction to the new format so far. The group has even put on events to help new cyclists learn to ride. We
were getting between 6 and 12 people out per ride that have never ridden on the road or even attempted something like that. So it was really great to have new people come out, get on the bikes, and go and do it.
With the event only days away, registrations are still coming in.
So if somebody really wants to sign up and it's Saturday, I'm not sure if I'm going to go, the biggest thing is we want your bike to be safe. We will have mechanics and safety people out at Inland on the day. But yes, you're more than welcome to register, and we're doing e-transfer, or you can bring out your donation.
Those who aren't looking to ride can donate online at bikeforbreakfast.com. The first ride starts at 8 a.m. and the public is welcome to come to Inland Steel from noon to 4 for live music, food, and fun after the ride. It was a hot week for crop producers across the prairies. While some producers appreciated the weather, others will be looking for some moisture as the summer months continue. With more in this week's crop report, here's Thomas Wildman.
Once again, we have Matt Struthers here today to tell us about the crop report for Saskatchewan. And so thank you once again for being with us, Matt, like always.
Thanks for having me.
What's new for the crop report in Saskatchewan?
Well, over this past week, it was relatively dry for much of the province, which was good. It allowed us to get into a lot of fields and get a lot of seed in the ground. We're sitting at about 91% of the crop now seeded for the entire province, up from 76% last week, and still behind the 5-year average of 97%. So, yeah, it's very good to see. A lot of those regions, especially in the east, get a lot of seed in the ground, whereas in the west, where seeding's pretty much wrapped up, they didn't get the moisture again this week, and so hopefully the next over the next week or two that they get the moisture they desperately need for their crops to continue to grow, and then hopefully in the east it stays relatively dry, so they're able to continue working as they kind of wind down for seeding.
How much of a difference does that 6% between what the yearly average is down to our 91%? How big of a deal will that be? Will it really affect a lot of things in terms of the crop prices and just overall the whole crop industry in Saskatchewan?
Well, that number, it represents more how many producers or seeding operations have finished across the province. It doesn't represent actual total acreage, because of course we don't know seeded acreage until until seeding finishes, and then we can actually see how many fields or how many acres have been seeded. So that 91% is more to say 91% of farmers have completed seeding, and there are still those who have to finish up over there in the east. I mean, the southeast is at 86%, and the east central is at 77%. So still a lot of work to do over there, and a lot of fields are still too wet to work in. So that's what represents it more than to say if that's a total acreage or not. So certainly is nothing to be worried about, and to make up that 6% difference. That's a couple warm days and long days and hard work for farmers to catch up on. So certainly nothing to worry about. If we have another warm week like we just had, a nice dry warm week, many more fields will be able to be seeded.
And so that's good to hear. And so with most people having their farms seeded, kind of what is the outlook as the months go on? What are crop farmers looking forward to? Kind of, you've been mentioning that lots of farmers are hoping for some more moisture. What other things are farmers looking forward to as the months go on in the summer and then into fall?
I'm sure they're hoping, especially over in the west, they're hoping for rain, but they're also hoping for the absence of really hot days. Once those days get up to 30 or up, it's a really hard on those plants, especially if they don't have the moisture. I bet they're also hoping that weed pressure drops and insect pressure also drops, because they've been trying to spray like crazy to keep weeds and insects such as flea beetles and grasshoppers down, since there's been quite a resurgence of those early here in the coming days of June here. So I'm sure they just hope that the weather holds out where they need it to, or it opens up and gets a lot of rain, and the insects move on or just leave altogether, because they're being quite a nuisance right now, and we've even had in the last couple of weeks instances of frost, and we're coming into June, so hopefully we don't have any kind of freak frost occurrences over the summer. We did have one, I remember one in late June last year, so hopefully that doesn't occur, and we can just have a nice good year. But to have a good year this year, there's going to be a lot of rain that's needed in the west half of the province.
Thank you so much for all the information, Matt, and we will look forward to the report next week.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me.
And now let's take a look at today's ag prices. One player from the Lloydminster Steelers AAA Hockey Club has committed to play U Sports hockey on Prince Edward Island starting next season. Our Adil Ahmed has a story.
I am very pleased to be joined by the newest member of the PEI Panthers Women's Hockey Club, Jazbe Herenek. Jazbe, thanks so much for coming on and congratulations on committing out there.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Not a problem. Well, you obviously last season you played with the Lloydminster Steelers AAA Women's Hockey Club. What were some of the factors rather that led to you committing out all the way in the East Coast?
I have a friend playing down there right now, and just getting away from home. I've been away from home for 2 years already playing in Lloyd, so I just want to, not that I want to get out of this town, but just want to go experience something new and take the journey. So.
Well, last season you led your team in goals and game-winning goals. How excited are you to bring your offensive game out to a new club?
I think I have a little bit of that aggression in me just to get things done and go in the corners and win battles. And obviously with 10 goals leading the team in scoring this year, I am a pretty good playmaker and got pretty good shots. So I'm just excited to bring what I can to the team and hopefully bring a national championship back to them.
Certainly. Well, you just mentioned that you're going to be playing at the university level next season. Going from AAA to university level hockey, how excited are you for that challenge and just what lies ahead for you?
Well, I'm excited to see what I can learn and just go and play with girls that have been playing there for already 3-4 years and just learning from their experience and just exceeding my expectations of what I can do.
Certainly. Well, you obviously have been playing AAA hockey for the last couple of years. How much have you seen your game elevate from the time you joined the Steelers to where you are now?
Yeah, I know I've gotten so much better. I went from playing in the B League to obviously AAA. And I've taken steps that I never imagined that I could. And now getting this opportunity to go play at the university level, I can't wait to see where it takes me and how much more I could succeed.
Well, of course, you'll be heading out to Prince Edward Island shortly. What is something that you're looking forward to most once you arrive there?
Probably going out and meeting all the girls, playing with girls that are obviously exceed at that level and can compete at that level, and just going out and exploring what the island has to offer.
Lastly, I just want to ask, from the time that you were a little kid growing up to where you are now in your life, how much has hockey and the sport itself meant to you?
Probably it's definitely been my safe place. So what I do just when I need to get out and go somewhere, go to the rink, whatever, go to the outdoor rink in the winter. And I grew up watching it. All my cousins played it. I didn't really, my immediate family, we're not really sports people, but I just caught on with my cousins and went from there when I was little. So it's really been that and a bunch of other sports. We used to play baseball, but hockey's just been that go-to for me ever since I was young.
Well, Jazbe, I just want to say thank you again so much for coming on and chatting with me today. Congratulations once again on your commitment to the Panthers and best of luck next season.
Yes, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
And now a look at your weekend weather forecast with Shelby Clark.
Thanks so much again there, Mr. Jason Mackey. Yes, taking another look at your weather forecast, we've taken an extended look across the provinces here. And starting off, we will be looking at our central zone. And on the Alberta side, we are still seeing some slightly warmer temperatures, kind of matching with what we did see yesterday for sure. Athabasca and Jasper, slightly cooler, just seeing 16 and 17, but the rest are seeing past that 20 point. 21 in most spots on this side, while Red Deer and Edmonton are at 22 with 23. So still looking quite warm in the central zone. Switching now to our Saskatchewan side, they are seeing those double digits, but looking slightly cooler in most spots here. Cold Lake and Meadow Lake both at 14 degrees, 15 in both Prince Albert and Melfort, and Saskatoon and North Battleford definitely looking a lot warmer there at that 22 mark. Switching now to our northern zone to kind of check them out. They are still continuing on that warm streak for sure. Most spots are seeing past that 20-degree mark. 14 in both La Loche and Buffalo Narrows, while around is just hitting 16, and the rest are seeing quite warmer temperatures, with Uranium City and Flin Flon now at 20 and 21, 22 in Wollaston Lake, and South End and Stony Rapids are seeing the warmest there with 24 and 25 degrees. Now switching back to our Alberta side, they are seeing those double digits, some looking slightly cooler than what we would expect. They're kind of matching, I guess, with the Saskatchewan side, but so overall it's still looking cooler, especially with Fort Chipewyan and High Level. They are seeing the warmest conditions, but just at 21 and 22. The rest have kind of cooled down from there. 19 in both Peace River and Grand Prairie, while Slave Lake is just hitting 16, and Fort McMurray is looking the coolest at 13 degrees. So for today, we definitely have cooled down with that wind chill in most spots across the provinces. Now looking at our southern area, they are looking surprisingly warmer than us now. Usually they do, but lately on as we've been heading more into the summer season, the central and the northern zone have been kind of beating them out, but now for today they definitely aren't. Medicine Hat is at 27, while it is 25 in Lethbridge, so even almost reaching that 30-degree mark. 24, 23 in Coronation and Calgary, and Banff is just reaching 18. Switching back to our Saskatchewan side, they are seeing definitely some warmer temperatures. Yorkton is looking slightly cooler, just at 16. Estevan has reached that 20 mark, and the rest have definitely warmed up past there. 21 in Regina, while it's 25, 26 in Swift Current and Kindersley, and Moose Jaw has reached that 30 mark. So we definitely have we've seen a spot now reaching 30 degrees, so they're looking a lot warmer on the Saskatchewan side. And looking at back across the region, seeing what we will expect throughout our evening and throughout the night. We are going to be slightly cooling down temperature-wise, going back to those single digits. Not too bad though, with most places expecting to see a low of 8 degrees. Wainwright will be expecting to see a low of 7, while Meadow Lake and Isla Cross will be seeing those double digits with a low of 10 and 11. So we won't be seeing too bad temperature-wise, but we will be seeing some cloudier and some rainfall conditions for most spots. And ending off their 7-day forecast for here in the border city, we will be joining that with our evening, seeing a slight chance of some rainfall, and then tomorrow for our Saturday, we will be seeing that with a 40% chance there in our morning with a mixture of some sun and cloud at 23, so we will still be seeing a nice temperature. Sunday, Monday will cool down to 19, but not too bad temperature-wise for those next couple days to end off the weekend. We'll be seeing a high chance of a thunderstorm on Sunday. Then Tuesday next week, we will be seeing 17, seeing that rainfall continue on. So hopefully this will be good there for those farmers across Saskatchewan. Hopefully they were getting some rain, but it might be too much now. So hopefully it will stop after these next few days. Then next Wednesday that will stop, and we will just be seeing some windier conditions at 17, then reaching back up to 22 for next Thursday and Friday. That's another look at your weather forecast. RJ Smack, you'll have more news coming up after the break.
And happy to be joined today on Primetime Local News by Melody Oliver. Melody is with the Shine program. Melody, thank you so much for joining me today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Well, let's talk about the Shine program, Melody. So what exactly is this?
The SHINE program, well, SHINE stands for Strong, Healthy Individuals Navigating Emotions. It's a mental health capacity building program that we deliver through Alberta Health Services funding. We're contracted with the Loy Catholic School Division, and we provide mental health capacity building program that is evidence-based to the elementary schools with the Loy Catholic and the Loy Public School Division. We're a 12-month program, so we also deliver events and activities throughout the year. Thank you, COVID, for being done and restrictions being lifted. And we provide summer programming as well.
Well, let's talk about those summer programs. It's hard to believe that we're almost at July here already. So what are some of the things that you guys have going on for July and August?
Well, SHINE has partnered with a few people in our community, one being the public library. We're going to be delivering programming to children on Tuesdays through July. And then through July and August, we have a couple of camps that we're participating in. One is with the Lloyd Catholic School Division with Bananas Over Books and Sports. And the other one is with the City Fun Camps. As well, we're going to be at Ben Miller Park delivering our walk and talk to build stronger connections through greater communications. And we'll have a few activities there too. The sunny days that we're there, so weather permitting. All of those times will be uploaded onto our Facebook and Instagram page. And we also have a website if you want to learn more about mental health capacity building throughout the province of Alberta. And that's on Instagram and Facebook, as I mentioned, and it's Shine Lloydminster.
Is there a cost for any of these programs? Do you have to pre-register for them as well?
There is no cost for these programs for us that we are delivering. The children participating in the camps have already registered through the LCSD Bob's camps and through the City Fun camps. And so we go to their camps that they have and we align with our theme. And this year our theme is to move your mood. So Move Your Mood is an Alberta Health Services evidence-based research program. It's a program that they deliver within the school system, and we will be doing that. We've just contracted with them in order to deliver it and provide it, receive the training. So we'll be doing that in the fall. So the universal programming is what we're going to be delivering this summer.
Melody, you kind of touched on this a little bit earlier in the conversation where you mentioned we're kind of coming out of COVID now. Is it more important than ever to have these types of programs because kids have been through so much with their mental health over the past couple of years?
Absolutely. It provides children, youth, and families with the opportunity and the understanding that they have the ability to move their mood, to elevate their levels of depression, or to lower their levels of depression, anxiety, and stress. And so we're going to give them the opportunity to do that. Our activities are really fun. They're evidence-based and they help to support their confidence and competence in being active and in having a healthy lifestyle for their continued well-being. So yes, it's important all the time, but especially since we've been through what we've been through and we're coming out the other side, we have some very good, strong programs in Lloydminster, and I'm very privileged to be collaborating with them to deliver this for our families and youth this summer.
Well, Melody, once again, if people are looking for information on this, can you give us the website and the information for the social media again as well?
Sure. It's Shine Lloydminster for our website, our Instagram, and our Facebook page. And we will have our times posted there and events and activities. We're also going to be at the triathlon on June 17th. And so we're going to be encouraging an interaction with the athletes in order for them to provide some feedback and some testimonial to how they're able to move their mood.
All right. Well, it sounds like you have a very, very busy summer. So this sounds like just great programming. And plus, you know, kids throughout the summer, it's great that they're off school, but I think that it's nice to have something to do. And if this is something that can help them with their mental health, which as we stated was so important, this is just fantastic. So thank you so much for speaking with us today and good luck with the programs over the summer.
Wonderful. Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Sarah Scott, filling in for Heather Klages this week on What's Happening. There is a lot going on this weekend you can't miss out on. Kicking things off in Wainwright, the Pride community of Wainwright are excited for you, and they're inviting you to their activities this weekend. You can register to join them on Saturday for gender-affirming yoga, face painting, flag making, special guests, and of course, the main event, the Pride Walk at Wallace Park. It sounds so wonderful and so fun, you gotta head on down there. All of it starts at 11 a.m. and for full event details, you can visit the Pride Community of Wainwright's social media. Now, hopefully this Sunday the weather holds out because Bike for Breakfast is happening. On June 12th, Bike for Breakfast, they're encouraging you to join them in biking for breakfast. Cheer the cyclists and volunteers on as they ride 40, 80, or 160 kilometers across Saskatchewan to make sure no kid goes hungry in Lloydminster and surrounding area. Now, if you'd like to donate, you can visit bikeforbreakfast.com for all the details. If you're looking to spruce up your living room, your bedrooms, your bathroom, your front porch, or anywhere in your house for the summer, you gotta head on down to the Lloydminster Museum and Archives, because there is going to be the Lloydminster Potters Guild show and sale this Sunday. Head on down, it's going on from 12 till 4 p.m. and they hope to see you out there. My name is Sarah Scott, and I hope to see you out there too.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Joining us for this week's entertainment panel is the classic Abby St. John. Thank you so much for taking the time to be able to join us here in studio.
Of course, I love it.
Yeah, we got some good topics on the go. We
Yes.
always do. We
Yes.
always say this, and we always do. But this one, we had a couple things coming up for this week. You know, the entertainment world keeps on going, keeps on moving. And for this week, we did see starting off a trailer for Black Adam.
Yeah.
This was pretty interesting. Seen some controversial, some stuff already on the trailer. You know, of course, it's got Dwayne Johnson, classic. Perfect kind of superhero type, perfect body, everything about him. But, you know, this is a DC film, and I think a lot of people were a little bit criticizing it slightly in a way just for certain things in the trailer.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it looked too bad. It does seem like it's going to be interesting. It's going to be in theaters October 21st. And right now, Warner Bros., what they dropped in the trailer, it's supposed to be kind of like a anti-hero type thing. So I kind of want to see what this is more about, because it seems like it's also got a big backstory for this character with Black Adam.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the trailer was kind of underwhelming for me. It just, you got your typical action and your explosions and your fight scenes, but I really didn't get that much from it. And it is only the first trailer, so I'm interested to see what more they give us before the film comes out. I really just want to see more of his backstory. You know, it's really interesting. He died a slave in ancient Egypt over 5,000 years ago, and he was reborn a god through the sacrifice of his son. So he's immortal. He got his powers from the gods, kind of like in Moana. Kind of seeing parallels, just thinking about that, him being a demigod and getting his powers from the gods.
Yeah. He did one voiceover for the movie, now he's like, I kind of want to bring this to life.
But it's interesting, and like you said, it is an anti-hero story. You know, there's a line in it. Pierce Brosnan is in it, which I was shocked by. I love him. I think he's super handsome, and
of course,
he's a great actor. So that's going to be interesting. But in the trailer, he tells him, he says, this is your choice to be the hero or the villain. And that's kind of, I think, where the story is going to be centered around, him deciding whether he wants to be the hero or the villain. And it seems like it's conflicting. You know, there's a line in the trailer, he gets told, you know, heroes don't kill people. And Black Adam goes, I do. So it's going to be interesting to see where this film goes. I don't really know what to expect. I felt like I wasn't given enough in the trailer to be like, yes. So we'll see when it comes out. We still got a while to go, but right now I'm kind of underwhelmed by it.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people have that same standpoint where that first trailer, they're like, hopefully the next trailer kind of like gives a little bit more that we're like, oh wow, because I find it kind of interesting with the fact that it is kind of more of a hero mixture of like he gets to choose between that, because I think a lot of people do kind of like that trope of having that character, and we've seen that in MCU, of course, with so many characters that have that arc of like villain turning kind of like, oh, I'm actually a good person.
Struggling with that
literally
line between evil and good. And
complex characters, literally, they got the flaws that they have. A lot of heroes try to hide that. So I like that it is kind of got that standpoint, but we'll see. I think when more comes out, like you said, don't judge a book by its cover too quickly.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get a little bit more stuff on it that we'll be able to get more overwhelmed, I guess, than underwhelmed. Well, moving on to another topic that we were kind of seeing this about, you know, with this weekend, Jurassic World Dominion. seeing some rough critiques on this so far. That this is kind of a big one because I think, of course, this is classic franchise. So many older, I guess, audiences. You know, this is classic for them. You know, they got a new kind of trilogy that this is like the third and final now. But they brought back some OG characters, and when you saw that in the trailer, it was like, wow, this is going to be a good one. Then you look online and it's another underwhelming critiques on it. On Rotten Tomatoes so far I saw that it was like a 34% critic rating and then a 79% audience score. Kind of fascinating to see how different it is so far.
Yeah, you have that difference. You know, obviously critics are going to be more intense with their reviews, obviously because they're critics and they want to give you their honest opinions. But audiences, it's mixed. It has a kind of average score. 79 is not that bad for, you know, audiences. So you know that, you know, maybe families are going out and watching it, people who have watched from the very beginning, like you said, older audiences. And yeah, this movie brings back some of those OG characters, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum. So you look back, you know, the first one back in 2015 got a 71% critic rating and a 78% audience rating. So that's kind of average. It didn't do great, but, you know, it didn't flop. But then you have the second one out in 2018, Fallen Kingdom. 47% critic rating, 48% audience rating. So people really did not like the second one. So it's very inconsistent. And then with this one, you know, a little bit, you know, worse critic rating, but better audience score. So I'm not seeing the consistency with the new trilogy. You know, the very first one back in 1993 won 3 Academy Awards, the 66 Academy Awards. You know, they got Best Visual Effects, Best Sound. You know, they got recognition for it. Steven Spielberg, you know, he got recognition throughout different awards ceremonies and stuff for his being the director. So you have a huge difference between the new trilogy and the old one. So it's really hard to, you know, be able to compare those two because you got the classic and then you have this trilogy that is very average and it hasn't really been doing that well. And it being the last one, it kind of wraps up that kind of Jurassic World franchise. So I think, you have to go see it. If you've gone this far, definitely watch it because, you know, critics can be a little hard on their critiques. Audiences sometimes are the best critics, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much learning that, you know, base your opinion on what you see of watching it. And if you made it this far, just go finish it. Just go watch it.
Just do it.
And just ignore those audience scores and the critic scores. Just base your opinion on your own because who knows, it might be just a banger of a movie and you're like, what are these critics talking about? I loved it. And you're just judging it too much on the score. But hopefully they get some more support, especially with having those OGs in it. Once I saw Jeff, I was like, oh wow. And just go watch it, pretty much.
That's it.
But unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this week's entertainment panel. So once again, thank you so much for joining us today, Abby.
Of course, thank you.
And that's all the time we have for our first hour of Primetime Local News. Thank you so much for joining us on this Friday night, and our second hour continues next.